incoming traffic is slowing down, so we might share the slides now. Just pop onto the presentation. We've scheduled it to the, oh, just as I say that. We've scheduled the session until 11, but we didn't have, oh, you can't hear anything. Do you want to try maybe logging out and logging in again, the classic tech solution? Is everybody else able to hear okay? If anyone that's got the cameras on fancies doing a thumbs up, great. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, Sarah, unfortunately, sorry, I'm not sure. It might just be best to try and mute and unmute or log off and log in again. Hopefully that should work. Cool, okay. We'll flick over to the slides now. Great, hopefully everyone can see the slides now. Can we flip back and do? If anybody who's got their camera on could just give me a thumbs up and we can just check that you can see the slides. Yeah, okay, amazing. Thanks everybody, that's really helpful. We'll kick off. I think people, is everyone able to get in still? Do you want to? Sorry, everyone, bear with us. This is the first time we've done Google Meets en masse. Sorry, are you asking a question there, or someone just come off mute accidentally? Okay, we'll kick off. But if anyone has a question, feel free to pop it at the chat on the side or use the little raise hand button. But we will have time for a question and answer session, and we'll stop sharing the slides at the end. So we're aiming to finish quicker than 11. Eventbrite didn't have flexibility for 45 minutes as a meeting time. So hopefully we'll be able to give you some of your very busy days back. But thank you very much for taking the time to join us this morning and hear a bit more about Breakthrough and how to refer people to us. So as a quick overview of the agenda, we'll tell you about Breakthrough. We will speak a little bit more about the issues that I think a lot of us will have in common that we're trying to solve, the solution that Breakthrough is offering, and 2 really quick steps about how you can refer somebody through to us. We also have Abbie from Switchback very kindly on the call, who has used the Breakthrough referral service and will tell you about that firsthand. There's no need to make any notes. We'll send over these slides after we've spoken today, so you can share them around with the team, and also the links that you need to refer someone through to us. And then finally, a little bit of time, as I mentioned, for questions and answers at the end if anything crops up. But feel free to write them in the chat as we go, in case you're somebody like me who often thinks of a question, doesn't say it, and then can't remember it 5 minutes later, and we can recap on them. So before I flick into who are Breakthrough, quickly, myself and Mia will introduce ourselves. My name's Liv, and I'm the Partnerships and Growth Lead at Breakthrough. So I focus more specifically on the side of what we do when it comes to matching our associates into employment at the end of the process that we'll cover later in the slide. And I'll pass on to Mia.
Hello, I'm Mia, and I'm the operations coordinator for Breakthrough. So if anyone has any questions, Hopefully I will be able to answer them. And if anyone wants to send any emails over to our hello email, then it would be great to have a chat with everyone.
Cool. So Breakthrough started back in March 2020, a pretty choice month to start a business, but luckily we've weathered COVID and we're coming out the other side. Our purpose is to embed a new and diverse pool of talent in the UK's workforce, bring lasting change to both businesses and society, whilst also working to change attitudes to prison leavers. Our mission is to select and train exceptional prison leavers to bring diverse, inspiring talent to businesses. And our vision is to boost, for prisons to boost potential and for businesses to relish in the talent that prisons can bring. And the issues that we're solving, as I mentioned, I think will have things in common with many of the people on the call today. It's a range of different types of referrers. We work with local councils, probation officers, national charities, all sorts of different organisations. So some of you may be more familiar with the issues than others, but these problems were things I wanted to highlight because they formed the basis of the Breakthrough solution. So my hope is that by all of us coming together, we can be stronger to tackle some of these issues. On the service user side of things, so either prison leavers or those that are at risk of the criminal justice system, we know that nearly half of all prison leavers will reoffend within 12 months of release. And alongside this, that only 16% of prison leavers are employed within the first 12 months of being released. Those things are probably pretty intertwined. The cycle creates more victims, both in those that end up in the criminal justice system and the victims involved in the crimes themselves. It gives the UK one of the worst reoffending rates in the world, and it costs the government over £18 billion a year. When you flick to the employer side of things, the UK employer market currently has a £1 billion underspend when it comes to using their apprenticeship levy every year. So that's part of the reason why we are focusing on apprenticeships at the other end of training the associates that we work with. But my history is working for large national charities in corporate partnerships. So I know that they're also really fighting hard to not just donate to good causes, but really embed their CSR in how they live and breathe as a company, as a way of retaining talent that matters. We see more and more in studies to people who get jobs with companies that they are doing something positive for the world. And also from working in smaller charities where you've had to wear several hats and do things like recruitment at the same time as your role, I know that finding diverse talent is incredibly challenging. And there's also bonus of social value in procuring people who are from minority groups. So moving now onto the more positive side of things and what the Breakthrough solution is, we have a pre-apprenticeship programme that forms the basis of how we start to be the solution to those problems. So it's an 8-week in-person programme. We run succinctly in prison and also in the community, which is our office based in Finsbury Park. So the referrals today are focused more specifically on the community programme. The next one will be starting on the 20th of February, and the dates will be in the follow-up that we send after this. But we are also based in ISIS in Pentonville. So if there's anyone on the call that works in those prisons, again, feel free to touch base with us after the webinar this morning. Across those 8 weeks, we teach a combination of tech and life skills. So on the tech side of things, it's an introduction to business acumen, data analytics, coding, process maps, all on a very entry level basis. You don't need to have prior experience in tech to get onto the course. And they're delivered by industry experts. So we work with companies all over the UK who come in and are specialists in those topics and help deliver it to our associates. The life skills are more general things like communication, presenting, having a positive mindset. The structure of that is that we will teach them the skill at the start of the week, leave them to do independent study and learn the skill, and then ask them to present back what they've learned at the end of the week. So it means that once they've graduated from that 8-week point, they've got a CV, they've got a portfolio of the new skills that they've learned, and we're really understanding of the level they're at and the type of apprenticeship that we think that they could thrive in. So we can work with our network of employee partners who offer both early career jobs and apprenticeships, and put them on the road to an 18-month period of stability within employment. And then once they get into work, that white line that runs across the bottom of the slide there is a representation of other support that we use as a wraparound. So they get a pastoral coach, somebody that's got lived experience of transitioning from the prison system, and can help them with the emotional side of things. And they also get a business mentor. So again, someone from our employer network who has a similar skill set to the career that they're working in, so they can be mindful of how they're progressing in their career and thinking ahead to what the next steps in their career may be. Now we've covered the solution and how we work and what you're referring people for, I wanted to touch on the people that we work with, the criteria of people that you can send across to us. So it's broad. Over 18 is the main thing to be mindful of. And when we say prison leaver or those at risk of the criminal justice system, is very much representative of the three groups that you can see on the slide here. So people that may come from a low income household, people that have had interaction with the care system, or those that come from minority groups. As I'm sure people on the call who work in prisons know, the over-representation of those groups within the prison population is pretty stark. So when it comes to the community programme, not everyone does have a conviction. They may have just been on a path that they want to change, but we also are happy to take people with convictions, and we don't ask any details of prior offences ahead of them joining the breakthrough programme. As I've mentioned before, it is entry level, so there's no need to worry about what experience they have previously. If they've got a passion for tech and it's something they're interested in, that's the main thing. We can supply laptops for the course, and we also cover travel costs. The key thing is working with them to instill the confidence in them that it's something that they could tackle, and that it's also something that may be an option to them if it's not occurred to them before, that tech and digital is a route that they can go down. We will shortly have Abbie coming up to speak about the process she's been through with working with Breakthrough, but prior to that, I wanted to quickly show how easy and simple it is to refer across to Breakthrough. So there's 3 steps. We have a digital and a print version of our flyer, so that gives top line information that we've covered today, so you can use that with your service users to take them through it, give them an initial understanding of what we offer and what the opportunity available to them is. As I say, the key part is making sure that they've got the confidence and belief to want to opt in for it. We then ask them to submit a basic inquiry form. Again, I highlighted it before, but we don't ask for any details of convictions. It's all of their contact details. It's a bit about their initial interest in the course. If it's somebody that's currently based in prison but soon to be released, we'll also ask further details about when that date would be, so we would refer them to the right course. But once we hit that inquiry form into our inbox, your side of the process is done. Step 3 is down to us. So we personally give them a call, speak through the form based on what interest they've told us, tell them in more detail about Breakthrough, check what questions they've got, if they have any initial hesitations, and then we book them onto our next intro day. So we have one coming up this Friday. We have another one on the 3rd of Feb, but I'm going to put all of the dates in the email follow-up. And the purpose of that intro day is to make sure that they can meet the people who will be facilitating the course. They can try out one of the lessons so they can see the structure of it and be reassured that it's right for them. And then they can firsthand speak to some of our previous associates and learn from them about their experience, where they were before the course, where they are now after the course, and get that firsthand experience of what it looks like when you've been through the whole process. So that's everything on the Breakthrough side. Before we flip into a question and answer session, I wanted to pass over to Abbie from Switchback. Hopefully you'll be able to.
Hi everyone.
Thanks, Abbie.
Can you hear me okay?
We can, yes.
Perfect. Hi everyone, I'm Abbie from Switchback. I'm a mentor. I didn't realise so many Catch 22 people would be on here, so hi everyone, Catch 22 as well. As I said, I'm a mentor from Switchback. Switchback is a mentoring service. We are a through the gate mentoring service in London for young people who are leaving prison. Today, it's more we are Breakthrough focused rather than Switchback focused. And I'm going to be talking about a trainee that Switchback has been supporting, but also we are Breakthrough has equally been supporting. His name is Adam. He's annoyingly not actually in any of these pictures other than that one at the top where you can see the shard. He's on the very right-hand side, just for context. With Adam, we met him in prison. So we met him 3 months pre-release and have been working with him ever since. With Adam, he's been super engaged, particularly post-release. With Switchback, we have 3 main areas of support. First one's mentoring, second one's training, and the third one is trips and experiences, which hopefully you can get a vague idea of from these pictures. I'm not going to go into depth about any of them. I might touch on them in a little bit, but if you do have any questions, then please do feel free to ask me at the end. With our training, we have a main training partner, and it's called Dusty Knuckle, which is a bakery. And I saw Charlie from Dusty Knuckle also on the call. So shout out to Charlie.
Hi, mate.
How are you? So Dusty Knuckle is our main training partner, but often Dusty Knuckle isn't appropriate. And for Adam, it wasn't appropriate due to distance. It was just a little bit too far from him. So we started to look for other training partners at other providers that were also in the area that he was really interested in, but also ones that were an alternative but more appropriate for Adam. Adam's really interested in the IT and digital world. So we wanted to start exploring this and see what avenues he could go down. We Are Breakthrough was top of the list. I know a couple of our colleagues knew and had heard of We Are Breakthrough, but I think Adam is the first person through Switchback to actually go through the We Are Breakthrough support. The thing that I personally loved the sound of about We Are Breakthrough was that it wasn't just in a specific industry where there aren't many other providers or training partners in the IT and digital world, but they also have the wraparound support as well. So where Switchback is we're a small charity and we work with small caseloads, so the work we do is quite intense with our trainees, and we're very specific with who we refer our trainees over to, because we want to make sure, we want to ensure that after prison they're also getting the support in the training partner as well. And We Are Breakthrough definitely showed that with their support that they were giving as well, that they were offering. So Adam and I had a look at We Are Breakthrough and we referred him over. It was a really quick, as you heard earlier, really, really quick online application, which was really great, because also I know some people get to the application stage and it sometimes puts people off if you have to disclose all about your offences, etc. And what's really great about this is that I personally loved as well that post-referral form, We Are Breakthrough really take charge. So we referred Adam over and then they took the lead with contacting Adam, setting up an introductory meeting, asking him to come, etc. And it really also showed to Adam that he had that support from We Are Breakthrough too. And it wasn't just me at Switchback shoving him off to another organisation. It was that we're both working together, which is also another thing I really love about We Are Breakthrough, is that you can so easily work together. And I've been in contact with a lot of the trainers who've been supporting Adam, a lot of the staff at We Are Breakthrough, and it's so nice because you get feedback, you get updates, you really, really do get the wraparound support. It's not just that he's left to sort of fly on his own. I also get pictures, I get updates, I get quotes all the time, which is amazing. So going back to Adam, he has been doing the pre-apprenticeship program so far because he didn't actually do the in-prison program. He is doing it now. I don't know if anyone can confirm, but is he in week 7, 8? He's at the back end, isn't he?
He's week 7, yeah. Next week's week 8. They graduate next week.
So he's in week 7 and he's at the stage now where he's doing mock interviews. He's created a CV. He's really getting that employability prep up. And just from a personal point of view, everyone who's met Adam, and it's definitely a couple on this call, Adam has already been quite a confident guy, but when it comes to like the technicalities, etc., Adam lacks a bit of confidence. But how far he's gone, particularly with working with We Are Breakthrough and Switchback at the same time, his employability skills have rocketed up, and I can just tell when he walks into an interview room, he's going to absolutely smash it. And that's because he's got the wraparound support from 2 different organizations who are working together, so he can basically be supported in the best way possible. Adam, obviously this quote, I feel so optimistic about the future. It makes me remember I can do great things whilst understanding I need to work hard for it. Really does sum Adam up, because he, even though he's found the We Are Breakthrough training challenging, he's found some parts of it easy because he's done IT before and he's got a lot, his skill set definitely lies in the IT industry, but he always tries to be the best at what he's done. And that's something that We Are Breakthrough has also taught him to do, as well as to not just settle for being good at something. He wants to be the best at something, which I think such a testament to him, but also a testament to We Are Breakthrough and Switchback really pushing him to get there as well. He also said to me that We Are Breakthrough has allowed him to be really excited for his future for the first time ever. And it's the first time that he can see himself in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time being in an industry earning legit money and just smashing it. And I think that is hopefully a testament to Switchback, We Are Breakthrough, but most importantly to Adam. So yeah, fingers crossed. He's not actually in the apprenticeship stage yet. That's to come, but my fingers are crossed that he secures one that he's really super interested in and smashes it, because he's done amazingly well. I feel like I just hyped Adam up for the last 5 minutes, but if you do have any questions, please do let me know at the end at the Q&A. But thank you so much, and thank you so much to We Are Breakthrough for the opportunity for Adam, because he has loved it.
Thank you so much, Abbie. The next slide is just Q&A, so I think I might stop the sharing so we can see everyone's faces. But yeah, we are very grateful to Switchback, and also Adam, we like to hype him up a lot as well. He came to one of our employer partners last week to do a day of mock interviews, and they also did their end of week presentations in front of a lot of external staff, which I think many of them couldn't have imagined doing at the start of the 8-week course. And Adam was the number one hype person for the rest of the group and really cemented their little community and cohort together. So yeah, we're both very grateful to him and Switchback for working with us. I'll flick over now to questions and answers. Feel free to either use the hand up button or just come off mute and ask it, or type in the chat at the side. Ellie, you've raised the hand. What was your question?
Hi, can you hear me? Clyde, do you want to mute yours? Something like that. Sorry, I was just wondering if there was sort of any kind of scope for guys who aren't necessarily entry level but have quite a lot of experience, but they're struggling to find work. Are they the kind of people that you would want to work with, or not so much?
As long as it's widely within the tech and digital remit, we would be happy to have them come on board. The way that it works is we'll usually have a mixed ability on the cohort, because at the moment we've got somebody in their 60s who, when they initially came to us, it was the level of kind of copying and pasting and using the drive for the first time, and other people that have maybe done an intro level introduction to coding before and get it a bit more. It works to gel them together, because those that are more experienced can help out others in the class that maybe finish slower, and they build a better community together. And it also works quite well for then the other side of the process, because we have a mix of employers who are offering us a range of some levels that are very, very basic and others that might be a bit more advanced. So we're happy to take mixed abilities.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Any other questions? Can be for Abbie from Switchback as well, if anyone's got any questions there. You can also pop it in the chat at the slide if you don't want to come off unmute, or if you've got any internet issues. Okay, so Rebecca's just asked, will everyone who applies get accepted to Breakthrough? Unless there's an issue where location wise it doesn't work for them to come to Finsbury Park, or something physical and logistical, I would say widely yes. The idea of them coming to the intro day is that that they get a real understanding of what the course is, and they're opting in, and so when they turn up for day one of the course, they're happy and excited and raring to go. But the application side of things isn't testing ability, it's not an interview. Like we say, we can work with a range of people. The the key thing for us is that they've got the willingness and the confidence to start, that we can build on across those 8 weeks. Gloucestershire may be a little bit far, Emily, for now, because we are based in North London, so somebody would be have to be happy to travel in 3 days a week, so that would depend on their specific location. And right now both of our prisons that we're working in are based in London, but we are looking to expand, so as long as you're part of our network and you're looped in, then we'll let you know as soon as we go outside of London. But right now most of the jobs and the course is based in London itself, unfortunately. No worries. Any other questions on the chat, or feel free to pop your hand up and come off mute if you prefer to ask in person.
Yeah, do you, sorry, did I miss it? Do you run the intro days in prison or in your facility?
We run them in the office and the community side of things. When it comes to the recruitment in prison, we will physically go into that prison space beforehand, depending on what wing we're working on, and go around and speak to people, hand out flyers, and then they'll sign up and come along to the first day. But the intro days are based in the community, so in our office in Finsbury Park, where they can come along between 2 and 4 p.m. I'll send out the dates in the follow-up for everyone who's on the call today, and that's their kind of first step to understanding if it's right for them, getting a flavour of how we work, and then turning up on the first day of the next course, which is the 20th of February. But we will be running them at injunctions throughout the year, so it's not a kind of permanent cut-off date, but we're focusing on trying to get referrals for that course right now. Georgia, I can see you've mentioned in the chat that you have a guy in ISIS who's interested, but he's being released a few days before the intro day on the 20th. That's fine, we can work around that. If you can send across the details to us, we can call him one-on-one a few days before and he can still start the course. The intro days are useful and a good thing for someone to come along to, but if they can't, we can find a way around that and we can set them up with tech and get them started on the 20th of Feb. So if it's tight for that deadline, still definitely let us know about that person and we'll see what we can do.
And the pre-apprenticeship part of the program, is that run in prison or again in your facility?
Both. So we run them in prisons and we also run them in the office. So we have one starting in Pentonville, we have a second one starting in ISIS, and then we're also running it in Finsbury Park. So we run them at the same time, which means that our session delivery team can do 1 day at prison, 1 day in the office, and teach the same topics, and they're all learning at the same time. System.
So I'm chairman of the Employment Advisory Board in Feltham Young Offenders, which is near Hounslow. Okay. Is that too far out of town for you?
I would have to look at specifics. I have to admit my geography isn't great, but I think, yeah, that would potentially work as long as people that, so you mean people that may be released and then want to join the community programme?
Well, and prior to being released, would probably need that 8-week pre-apprenticeship program.
Oh, so if it's something that you wanted to roll out into a prison, that would be a different conversation. But we could follow up with you separately, Chris, and put you in contact with the person who would manage doing a course specifically in prison as well. Okay.
Okay. So Feltham is not far from Heathrow. That's probably the easiest, the biggest landmark.
Okay, that's good to know. That's extremely helpful. Thank you for that. Yes, that would still be considered, I guess, the wider London area. So catchment-wise, it would work, but we'd have to check our programme calendar to see what capacity we have to launch in new prisons and when that could be put into place this year. But we can definitely follow up with you about that. Yes, Sarah, unfortunately, sorry, at the moment we are only based in London, but we are looking to expand this year. So I would imagine that cities would be first on the map because of where employer partners are based and how we can smoothly move people into those apprenticeships. So when we expand outside of London, we'll be sure to let everybody know. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, so great question on what happens when they finish the training and then they go for the apprenticeship interview. It's what we call the transition stage. So we're very aware that people might not get the first interview they go for. We train for it pretty intensely in the course, in that we take them into employers' offices to run mock interviews. We do extra employability sessions for those that are really keen on a day when they're doing independent study on the course, for them to come in, process map what different jobs look like, go through video practices and role plays of interviews. But the real thing is still very different. And in that transition phase, we commit to work with them until they're placed into a job. So if they don't get the interview, that's fine, we'll go again. The employer partners that we work with aren't committing to giving someone a job, they're committing to giving them an interview opportunity. So they'll still need to impress at interview, and that's very much interwoven into the pre-apprenticeship program to make sure they are prepped for that. But if they're not lucky enough to get the first opportunity they go for, we have other opportunities available, and we're committed to carrying on that support until they're in a job and seeing it through until that point in the process. But very good question. Anything else, either on the chat or, again, feel free to come off mute. I never do that when I'm on a call because I'm always worried I'm going to speak at the same time as someone else. But if anyone wants to use the hand up button or ask anything in person. No? Okay, that might be everything. But as I say, everything's going to be in a follow-up over email. So we're going to put those dates, we're going to put the links to the form, and we're also going to send the slides over in case there's anybody from your teams that couldn't attend today. In the future, I think we might look at running one of these sessions more regularly on a monthly basis as we've got programs coming up. So if you have other team members that want training, or further colleagues or departments you think this could be helpful for, then we'll loop you into those communications. But for now, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to come today. We really appreciate it. We know the sector that you work in, you are very busy. So yeah, thank you very much. And Georgia, after the February one, it's not yet set in stone. It will be 8 weeks, and then we'll usually have anywhere between a 2 and 3 week break, which would take us up to around the May-June time. But as soon as those dates are released, we will definitely send them out on our mailing list and in our newsletter. But thank you, everybody, for coming today, and thanks for your time. I hope everyone has a lovely Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, well done.